Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tyndale Show. I think we're up to about episode 19 or 20 now as we work through some key people within our school who are involved in some really critical things. And today we're going to talk to Ben Green, and Ben has been heading up our Kokoda trip for the last couple of years. And we do a number of trips here at Tyndale, but Kokoda is a little bit different to some of the other ones that we do.
A little bit different. Yeah.
So Ben, tell us about, what Kokoda looks like and why do we do Kokoda?
Yeah, so Kokoda is it's a 96-kilometre stretch of jungle terrain in the Papua New Guinea highlands, the Owen Stanley Ranges. It's the third hardest hike in the world. It's absolutely grueling and hot, sticky and wet. So yeah, it's a surprise for some people that we would do that because it sounds like not a nice thing, but it's a really great opportunity for the kids to experience another part of the world. It's also a great opportunity for them to test themselves physically and mentally, but it also makes up a foundational part of our history in Australia because it's all to do with the war and how our soldiers went over there and fought and died for our country, defending it against Japanese invasion. We want the kids to get an experience of what our troops experienced over there and see how the people live, the Papua New Guinea people along the trail, to be able to test themselves, to be able to get to a point where they're able to go in terms of training and physical and mental ability, and then successfully complete the third hardest hike in the world. It's a great experience for them.
So Ben, if I'm a parent watching this and I'm thinking about maybe my child might be eligible or interested in going in this, tell me a couple of things. Tell me about what age group or what year level my child needs to be in, and whether my child might be suitable. So who do you take?
We take year 10s and 11s in the senior school. And in terms of who we take anyone. We do a trial hike at the very start of that year period of training. And so a lot of kids will come along to that and they'll find that, the hiking thing isn't for them. But I also have a lot of kids who come and say, I really enjoyed the hike, but I feel like maybe I'm not physically fit enough. But that's what that year training period is for. We'll get you to the point you need to be in terms of being physically able to go. The other thing that you really need is a desire to experience other cultures, and I think also a real desire to be able to go and accomplish something that's difficult. If you have that passion, then this is the trip for you.
Tell us a bit about the training and the preparation, because I'm sure you just don't rock up and go, I'm going to do it. So what's the lead up? How do you do that?
We actually select the team about a year before the actual trip. So we do the trip every 2 years. The team is selected in the year in advance so that we have time to train, but also time to help kids see whether this is the trip for them, because obviously not everyone can go. You have to be physically able, and so the training is quite grueling. We train once or twice a week. We do a Monday afternoon up in Kokoda Creek, right near here, and we also train once a week at Mount Lofty or Moriata or Anstey's Hill, those sorts of places where there's quite steep terrain, to get a feel for what it's like over there. And we take a team obviously from Strathalbyn campus as well. And so a group of them came this year and they will train once a week over in Strathalbyn, and then we'll meet up together. That year training period is not just for the physical, it's also for the mental side. And you couldn't do the Kokoda Trail without a team around you. And so that year period is really important for training in that they get to know their teammates, they get to know the group dynamics, how we're going to work together. And it's quite often when the physical side fails, it's the group that will come along and really push a person. So the year is really important to us. And of course, along that time, get our gear together. We do what we call a gear night, where we'll go down to Kathmandu. They give us quite a good deal, and we get a whole bunch of gear from there in terms of backpacks, hiking boots, pants, shirts, all the stuff that you need to be able to walk the trail. And then we test that gear out. It's no use going to Kokoda if you don't have gear that works.
Talk to me a bit about, what you see the kids getting out of it, but I'd be really keen to hear about you personally and the challenges for you and maybe what you've got out of it.
I think from the kids' perspective, a lot of them have never even been overseas before. So for them to be able to go and experience this other culture, which is so vastly different from anything we have here, is a huge thing for them. And obviously there's the other side of it, of being an achievement of doing something that not many Australians do. In previous years there were 20,000 people a year that did it, but now that number is dwindling as people slowly, for lack of a better word of saying it, forget about the war. And so those numbers are going down to about 7,000 a year now. And so for these kids to complete it, knowing that they're one of a few, it's a huge reward for them. And it is grueling. Every day we walk about 10 or 11 kilometres, and it's either straight up or straight down. You have to be incredibly physically fit, and so for them, when they cross that finish line, you can see it written on their face how rewarding that is. And it's not often that we have many dry eyes crossing the finish line. For myself, the reward is wrapped up in that. Seeing these young people who go through a year of hard training on top of their normal school loading and work, many of them, because they pay for their own trip. And so for them to cross the line and for me to see that on their faces is incredible. But for me also, I go because I love war history, and I just find it so rewarding to accomplish what our soldiers did, and just to see that it was so incredibly hard for me, and I wasn't getting a single bullet fired at me during that time, and I had $300 hiking boots, and I have a greater respect for the guys that went before me to secure that land and to defend us. So that's where my reward comes from, the kids and knowing that history itself.